All right. All right. Well, anyway, it's so great to be here. And thank you very, very much for that introduction. And for some of you who were able to join us, we did touch on businesses, and it's a really big thing because it's actually the key to our peace, to be able to distinguish what's my business, what's your business, and what's God's business means that I'm very clear about what I can change, what I can control, what is worth putting my energy into, and what I expect back from it. So if it's my business, I have a lot of say in that. But if it's not my business, I have no say in it at all. It's as if you would like to be, let's say you'd like to be Jewish and I'm Muslim. And I'm saying, no, 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 no. You can't be Jewish. You have to be Muslim. There's no chance that you're going to be Jewish. You have to be Muslim. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you want. I want you to be Muslim because I believe it's better to be a Muslim. Now, I prefer to be Muslim, but you don't have to be. And this is when I cross over into your business and I start getting really demanding. I treat you differently. I don't like where you're going. I judge you, and our relationship breaks down. And eventually, you'll choose to be Jewish because that's your business, and you'll move away from me. And then I'll punish you for that. So it becomes a never-ending cycle of expectation on someone to do something they have no intention of doing, and then disappointment, and then punishment. So we live in a constant state of war. It could be also something like, I don't want to play tennis. I don't want to go to the beach. I don't want to eat my vegetables. I don't want to go to bed. I don't want to watch that show. It could be anything. But the moment we go into your business and tell you what you should do, when you should do it, why you should do it, then honestly, I'm invading your space. I've trespassed into your business, and it's going to end in tears. And all you need to do is see children and parents to see that that's the truth. As adults, we tend to not speak up. We tend to keep our feelings to ourselves because we're so afraid of conflict. But it doesn't have to be conflictual. So what happens is when we're in someone else's business, when someone's in your business, now that you're more aware of what it's like, what it means, you are able to say, thank you very much for your interest in my life, and no, thank you. Or thank you very much for taking an interest and having something to say, and I'll think about it, because maybe they're right, maybe they have a good suggestion, but I don't have to, in the moment, take it on board and get angry that they're telling me what to do or what not to do. They just think they know what's best for me. So today we're going to look at what it's like when we believe what we're thinking, when a thought comes to us, and what it's like when we think that thought is real and true. Because when I believe what I'm thinking, I suffer. When I question what I'm thinking, which I'm going to show you how to do today, when I question it and see if it is true, then things change for me, and I don't go down the spiral of anxiety or fear or shame or guilt. I don't do any of that because I can question what I'm thinking. So what happens is, in the morning when you wake up, do any of you decide to think, or does it just happen? Anybody? Would anyone like to say anything or chat? Put it in the chat. Do you decide to think, or are you just thinking before you know it? Anybody? Who wakes up in the morning and says, I think I'll think today?
Okay, so they're typing.
Just thinking. Now, who wakes up in the morning and says, I think I'll breathe today? Or are you just breathing?
Just breathing.
Just breathing. And who wakes up in the morning and says, I think I'll see today and hear today? Or you just wake up hearing and seeing? Nobody wakes up in the morning and decides to think or see or hear or breathe or have their heart beating. Nobody. It's a happening. Would you agree? It's a happening. I can't stop thoughts coming. The moment I wake up, I'm lying in bed and I start thinking, what time is it? Oh, it's 7 o'clock. Oh, it's Tuesday. Oh, I've got to go to work. Oh, I'm going to be late. Wonder if I'll have time for breakfast. And it just keeps going and going and going. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not doing it. I can't stop it. I don't make it happen. I don't decide what's going to come to me. It just comes. Would you agree? And when you're driving along, or you're on the metro, or you're in a bus, or you're walking to work, or however you get to work, on bicycle or motorbike, scooter, car, while you're driving along, isn't it amazing how our mind can take us to so many places we don't even realize how we got to work? We're not even consciously aware of what we saw on the way to work. And if we're talking on our phone at the same time, we're not, it's automatic pilot, right? We're not even thinking about it. We're in the conversation. So thought is not us. It's a happening. We're not doing it. We can't be guilty of it. We're not guilty of these thoughts. Sometimes I say to myself, oh gosh, why did I think that's terrible? I have to be a bad person if I'm thinking that. It's not me doing it. It's thought that comes, and all of a sudden I make it mine. I think I'm thinking it, but it's just a happening. I'm not breathing. I'm not breathing because I don't turn it on or off. I'm being breathed. It's happening. It's just happening. I'm not deciding to breathe. It's not me doing the breathing. It's happening. I'm not me doing the thinking. It's happening. So we're able to, when we've understood that a little better, we're able to stand back and look at the thoughts that are coming to us, and then we can question them, because some of those thoughts make us unhappy and sad and depressed and angry. So we can look at them rather than think it's me. It's not I'm angry, it's my thoughts are angry. These thoughts are angry. I'm not angry, because where does the anger go when I'm asleep? So how can I be the angry one? I am believing these thoughts and I feel angry. So what we do is we think, we listen to this thought comes and we hear it. So the thought comes. With that thought comes a picture, an image. That image will bring up emotion. Those emotions will bring us to action. And those actions bring us results. And this is what we mean by we create our reality. In that moment, if I'm being told, in that moment, if I'm being told by this thought that the child living next door to me is in danger, I'm going to see a child in danger in that image. Did you all see it, by the way? I bet you all saw a child in danger when I said it, because that's what happens. We hear words, which are thoughts, and we create a picture. The picture's created, and all of a sudden we see a little child, maybe on their own, maybe being hit, maybe hiding in a cupboard, maybe trying to get out, whatever you saw, I saw. We're all the same. We all see a child. They're different, but it's the same thing. So if I am listening to the thoughts that the child next door is in danger, I'm going to see an image. That image is going to bring up emotion. Like, what am I going to do? There's a child in danger. So I start to get panicky and I start to get a bit like ready for action. And I may grab my phone. That's my action. So now the emotions turn to action. And now I'm calling the police, or I'm calling someone else, or I'm calling building security. Or maybe I go next door and I knock on the door. So now I've gone from thought to image to emotion to action. And then the action is when I get the result. So the result might be a neighbor who says, what? Get out of my business. Nothing's wrong here. There's no problem here. But I'm ready for I want to have a look. I want to have a look. Get out of the way. I want to have a look. I want to make sure. Because this thought brought an image which was so convincing, and the emotion was so convincing that I turned to act on it. And how do I know it's even true? How do I know it's even true? So what we do when we're feeling stressed about something is we can take a moment, and to be quite honest with you, it's usually after the event, in the beginning, while we get used to this. In the moment, it's very difficult. Would you not agree? It's very difficult in the moment to feel calm and not panic and not get angry, not react. It's very difficult. And I own that. I'm the same. When I'm really in that thought process and I'm in that emotion, it's hard for me. It's taken a long time for me with practice, which I'm going to give you the tools and the steps today to practice. But it's taken me a long time to be able to be in the eye of the storm and be able to go, wait a minute, hang on, just slow down. I've probably only been able to do that for the last 10 years, which I'm very old, by the way. So it's been a long time not being able to do that. So this is what we do. I'd like you all now, if you can access the chat, great. And if you can't, that's okay. Everyone's free to do it as they can. But I'd like you to write down, I need him or her, no names needed, him or her to tell me, do, say, think, stop, start, whatever it is that you believe you need them to do for you to be happy. So for me to be happy, I need him to respect me. I need her to appreciate me. I need him to support me emotionally. I need her to have my back. Okay, you get the gist? So it doesn't have to be anything more than that, anything longer, but just find it. Find a situation in your life where you've had this come up with someone and write that down, okay? I need him to, I need her to, it could be your parents, your neighbors, your family, your colleagues, your sport team, your government. It could be anything, absolutely anything. You're free to find that thing. For me to be happy, I need him to, I need her to, okay? And then if anyone is game enough, courageous enough to read what they've got, we can just go around and hear what everyone is saying and see what we think. Okay, so you're in a moment with someone in your past where you felt triggered. They've upset you for some reason, somehow, and you need them to do something for you to be happy now. Okay, so feel free to share if anyone would. And very often, I can tell you, after years of experience with groups as big as 350 people and plus, when someone says their answer, and I ask for a show of hands of whoever else has felt like that, it's unanimous. We all feel the same things. We're all the same. We all want to be respected. We all need to be listened to and heard. We all need to feel supported. We all need to feel appreciated. No one is any different. Men, women, children, all of us feel the same things. No matter where we come from, no matter what our age group is, no matter what language we speak, we all need the same things. So it's no shock for me when I ask people who can resonate with that, who's felt the same thing, that everyone's hand comes up. So there's no need to feel embarrassed or shy. We all feel the same things. Would anyone like to share just one that we can use as an example? No? Nobody? Not one? Would anyone like to write it in the chat? Anybody? Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. I need her to take responsibility. Oh, excellent. I mean, who hasn't thought that? Who hasn't thought that? I have. Has anyone else thought that about someone in their life, that you need them to take responsibility? I have. I really have. I'm not kidding. I can talk about my teachers. I can talk about my parents. I can talk about my stepdaughter. Oh, I could go on for hours about my stepdaughter, the poor girl. But she knows. She knows I use her as my example. We love each other. It's no big deal. But I've definitely felt like that. So I need her to take responsibility. Okay. So normally I need her support. Yeah, I need her to support me. I need her to support me. I need her support. Yes, Joy. Has anyone else felt like that? I'd put my foot up if I could. Honestly, how many times have I thought, I haven't got their support, I need their support? Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. Okay, so now at this stage, I need him to say sorry for walking out on me. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, God. I'm right there with you, Tricia. That's, come on. I mean, yeah, I hear it. Yeah. I need space, alone time. So I need them to leave me alone. I need them to leave me alone. Yeah. I need them to leave me alone. I need her to leave me alone. I need him to give me space. Yeah. I hear you. Oh, God. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So now that we've got some examples, what I would normally do if this was more of a, a talkative session, I would ask you to explain a little bit about that situation, where you are, what you're doing. Is it nighttime? Is it daytime? Is it a work day? Is it a weekend? I'd ask you to show us the scene of that movie that we have running in our head, because our mind is full of thoughts, and those thoughts come with images, and those images become a movie, right? When you're telling someone the story of what happened on the weekend, you can see it as a flowing movie. That's how the mind works. So I would say, tell me a little bit about your situation, that I need her support. And you might say, well, I was doing really badly, and I was sitting on my sofa, and she couldn't come over, or she didn't stay, or, something like that. I need her to take responsibility. Maybe there was something that went wrong at work and you got blamed for it, and she didn't own up to it, or that things were going badly and she didn't take responsibility and make that change. I need him to say sorry. Yeah, absolutely. So now you're in that movie where he's gone and you really need that apology. So whenever we have a thought, it comes with a movie. It comes with images. And those images are from the past, right? They're from a situation that's happened. So if anyone can possibly write this down, if they've got some notes, and then maybe you can share them with the group later or something. The first question we ask is, if you're going to read your thought, okay, you read your thought and you put yourself in that situation. Go there now, go back there as if you're there now. Okay, we're going to go back and ask yourself, when you read your thought, okay, I'm going to do each one slowly so that you get a, I'd like to give you these tools, okay? So I'm going to go through it step by step with you. So I need her to take responsibility. Now, question number one is that true? That for you to be happy, you need her to take responsibility? And go back to the scene and have a good look. And it could be a yes, and it could be a no. You do not get bad marks here. You can't fail. There's no wrong or right. It's your experience. It could be a, yep, I needed to take responsibility. It could be a, for me to be happy, no, I don't. And we see that, we have a look at that. If it's a yes, I do, then we ask question number 2. Okay, if you want to write that down. Question number 2. The thought is, I need her to take responsibility. Question number 2 is, can you be 100% sure that you need her to take responsibility for you to be happy? Can you be 100% sure that that's what you need for you to be happy? And it could be a yes, and it could be a no. It's your truth, not ours, that we're looking for. Question number 3. How do you react? What happens to you when you're believing that you need her to take responsibility? How do you react? What happens to you when you believe you need her support? How do you react? What happens to you when you believe you need him to say he's sorry and he doesn't? How do you react? How does that hurt? Where does that go in your body? Where do you feel it? In your heart? In your head, in your neck, in your chest, in your shoulders, in your stomach? Do you feel weak? Where does it go? How do you feel? Do you feel anger, sadness, despair, depression, loneliness, melancholy? What do you feel? Where does it? What happens when you believe these thoughts? How do you react? What happens when you believe that you need them to give you space and they don't? How do you react? Frustrated, angry, resentful, annoyed, bitter? Do you go to war? Do you scream and shout like I do? Give me space, you're all in my way. I need to get out of here. I need some time to myself. Go away. You don't respect my space. Get out of my way. How do you react when you believe that you need her support? She doesn't give it. Do you react like I do and say to her, where were you when I needed you? How did you not show up? And put her on the back foot? How do you treat yourself when you're believing these thoughts? How do you treat the person when you're believing those thoughts? Have a look at you through their eyes when you're reacting to this thought. What does that look like? Who are you hurting? What's really going on? Have a good, quiet look. How do you react? How do you feel when you're believing these thoughts? This is a very important question because we get to see the reaction to the thought. This thought brings on emotions, images, more thoughts. It's powerful. So once we've been in that question for a little while, and you sit and you close your eyes and you observe yourself. Oh, I feel sick. I feel angry. I want to attack him. I want to attack her. I feel like punching someone, or I feel like crying, or I feel like falling over, or I feel like running, or I feel like going to bed, or I feel like eating or drinking, or whatever it is. Once I've got that thought going in my mind and all those emotions that come up with it, look at what I do. Look at how I show up when I'm believing it. It's incredibly powerful to have a good, slow look at that and get in touch with the effect of that thought. So once we've done that, we move on to question 4, and that's a big one. So there's no rush. We can spend a long time in question 3 if we want. We can also ask ourselves in question 3, when is the first time you can remember ever thinking, I need her support. I need her to take responsibility. I need him to say sorry. I need them to give me space. When's the first time? And when you're still, and quiet, and you let your wisdom talk, you might find that you've had that thought since you were 5 years old. Maybe the first time you ever thought, I need her support, you were 8. Maybe the first time you ever thought, I need them to give me space, you were 10 or 12. Maybe the first time you ever thought, I need him to say sorry, you were 6. We cannot we cannot resonate with the thoughts that come to us and have these images and have these emotions on a one-off. They're old, these thoughts. They've recurred. They come back from other situations in our life. And that's where it becomes very painful in the today, because it's this time and this time and this time and this time. So we go back over the past and we see how our life looks with this thought. And then we go to the future and see what life in the future would be like. Where do we go in the future? I need her support. I see a future without any support. I see a future not even being friends, not trusting. With I need her to take responsibility, I see a life of not trusting her, not relying on her, thinking she's a flop. I need him to say sorry, and he doesn't. I see myself feeling broken forever, waiting for that apology. The future is scary, and the past is depressing and sad. And both are imaginary. They're imaginary. We can't go either way. We only have this body in this chair right here. I can't go back and change anything. It's like a dream now. I can't go forward. It hasn't happened. So I'm trying to put myself in some kind of mental time capsule to move and do something about it, and I can't. And those images of past and future take me away from where I am now and the state I'm actually in. I'm not there needing her support in that moment. I'm not there wishing he'd apologize. I'm here. I'm here right now. So I take myself out of the present moment into this past and future, this imaginary past and future, which is destroying my happiness, destroying my peace of mind, destroying my moment with my kids, destroying my moment on the way to work in the car or bus or train or bike or walking, completely destroying it. I'm not taking in the flowers, the fresh air. I'm lost to this trance that I'm in about past and future with all the images and those emotions that come with them. So now, question 4. And it's just for the exercise. You don't have to give up your belief system. No one's asking you to do that. But just for this exercise, let's just try this on like a pair of shoes. I don't know if we ever really feel comfortable buying a pair of shoes without trying them on, right? So we're going to try this on. What would your life be like in that moment without the thought, I need her to take responsibility. I need her support. I need him to say sorry. I need them to give me some space. What would your life be like if you just couldn't think that thought and just wait? Give yourself some peace to wait and see what mind will give you. What would life be like if I just couldn't think that thought or any thought about them at all in that very short moment? And wait and see. Give it a try now. Let's just see what you come up with. Just for the experience, the exercise. As I said, you can have your thoughts back. It's okay. But let's see what it's like. For those of you who very kindly answered, what would it be like for you, Jacqueline, if you couldn't think, I need her to take responsibility? And what would it be like for you, Joy, if you just couldn't even imagine thinking, I need her support? And Patricia, What would your life be like without the thought, I need him to say sorry? And Tone, what about you without the thought, I need them to give me space? Let's just wait and see what happens, okay? Just breathe. See yourself in that situation without that thought. And let's see if any of you can come and share what you feel. If anyone can write what they feel without that thought. Anybody? Does anybody have any experience they'd like to share just for that moment without that thought? Just for the moment. So just in that moment, we're just looking for the sensations in the body and the effect of not having the thought. It's not about a future. It's not about what I need to do in the future without the thought. It's just in the moment, right now. What do you feel without that thought? Just without that thought. What's your life like without that thought right now? No forcing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So my experience without the thought is that I feel a gentle energy come back. I feel a very open, gentle energy where I come out almost of there. Yes, Faith. I just see Neil and I feel relief. Yes, yes, that's right. You're back in your business. This is the effect of being in your business. Yes, Joy, relaxed. Me too. I feel like, I can just let go of it for a little bit, you know? It's just like all that tension has released just by not even thinking that thought. I'm alone, enjoying my me time. Yes, Tone, there you go. You don't need them to give that to you. Absolutely. Back in my business. Yes, Patricia, I feel happy. Me too. The more I'm in someone's business, wanting them to do something that I have no control over, the worse I feel. It's just a waste of time and energy, and it brings me pain. Who wants to stick their hand in the fire every single day saying I should be able to put up with this? Please. Yes, Victoria, free and happy. Without the thought, I'm reading free, relaxed, relieved, alone and enjoying my time, back in my business, happy. There you go. It's not a trick. It's what the mind does when we're in someone's business, wanting them to do something, wanting them to say something, and out of their business when we're just not wanting that at all, just not thinking that thought at all. It's a totally different experience. So now, the final step, which is not to be done before the beginning, okay? We do question 1, and then if it's a yes, we do question 2, and then we move on to question 3, which is huge, everyone. It's important to get in touch with the way I feel with the thought. It's painful. We can cry. We can feel all the anxiety, but it's critical for us to break free of it. We have to look at that effect. Then what are we like without that thought? And look at the difference. And I'm not doing that to you and you're not doing that to me. This is mine saying, hang on,